Hi, my name is Anita Charlot of Relationship Architect Academy. We are at Rockstar Studios, and you are watching Urban Matrix. It all started when I finally found the courage to walk away from an abusive marriage. So it was mentally, physically, and emotionally abusive, and I was trying to figure out how the heck did I get here. It took some time. It took quite a bit of time. I didn't start out as being that woman that would get into an abusive marriage. I recognized that I got married for all the wrong reasons, and there were red flags that I didn't see, and I was determined not to have to go through that again. And so I took the time to start to peel back the layers. What was going on? What was going on within me? Why did I attract this person? What did I need to heal within myself so that I could get back to where I saw myself before this all happened? And as a result, I went to different therapists. I went to psychoanalysts. I went to ministers. I went everywhere trying to find someone that could understand who I was and what it was I needed and actually guide me in that direction. What I found was people were just listening, right? So they're listening and they're writing on their notepads and then, okay, well, I'll see you here next week. And I wasn't really getting anywhere. And so a coworker of mine who didn't know anything about my situation happened to introduce me to this woman who was a metaphysician. By metaphysician, it means that she was sort of like a spiritual psychologist. And so she, within the first 90-minute session, was able to help me to identify those things that were going on, start the healing process, and then from there I decided that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a metaphysician, and then I wanted to help other women to get to where I had been going through the growth, understanding how to do the work, and then finding the love that they really wanted. They feel like they just keep picking the wrong man, or the wrong women. And so why am I picking the wrong person? Why do I continue to pick the wrong person? And so we start with helping them to identify who they're picking, why they're picking them, and what they can do to change that. Other times you have women that are already in relationships and they're not getting what they need from their relationship, and they want to know why they're not getting what they need from their relationship. How can they get what they need from their relationship? And then I also have women that come to me, and a few men that come to me to try to figure out, should I still be in this relationship? Should I still be married to this person? Now, there's sometimes it happens within, I do 6 and 12-week programs. So sometimes that 6 weeks is enough to get them started. Other times 6 weeks is just enough to scratch the surface. And they need to continue to come back, and we work on things to get to a solution. So I am a solutions-oriented coach. The solution may be, this is how you can do things so that you can stay together. Solution may be, this is what you need to do to remove yourself from that situation. Because I tell people all the time that every dating situation is not a potential relationship, and every relationship is not a potential marriage. And so you need to learn to recognize the signs and to understand what it is you really want and whether or not the person that you're with is going to be or can be that person for you. I am a domestic abuse survivor, and I managed to grow through that, not only just, to relive or relieve myself of that pain or to heal from that pain, but also to attract into my life the love that I've always wanted. And so you have people out here who are dating and relationship coaches, and they're still single. Right? It's like, okay, well, how can you teach somebody how to have, a loving and nurturing relationship when you have yet to have a successful loving and nurturing relationship? And so I look at my experiences in bad relationships and my experience now 10 and a half years in, the best relationship I've ever been. The last relationship I plan on being, actually, he's my husband, so of course he's my last relationship. But that in and of itself, having to grow, having to challenge myself, having to dig deep, having to do the work, doing the work is the key. Okay. And then I have a relationship coach certification. I also practice NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. And there are just a lot of things that I do and tools that I bring to the table because of my me studying metaphysics or being a student of metaphysics for over 20 years. So I take a little bit of this and that. It all depends on what that person needs. And sometimes people think that being a metaphysician is like, oh my God, it's so woo-woo, you know, you're so anti-Jesus. And that's not the case, right? So I am usually working with people wherever they are spiritually. That's where I can meet you at. Right? And I help them use whatever tools that they have, whatever beliefs that they have to grow through whatever it is they need to grow through so they can get where they want to be. You need to be ready to work and dig deep. And you're not going to get anywhere if you don't. So scratching the surface, you know, reading a book here or there, going to a seminar here or there. I get it so many times. Well, I don't need a coach. You know, I've attended 6 seminars. I read 12 books. I've had 3 Reiki sessions. You know, it's like, I don't need this. Well, you're still alone. Or you're in a relationship and you're totally miserable. And so the only way to attract and maintain the relationship that you want is to do the work. I give a ton of homework. And if you're not, you know, you can't say, I'm too busy, I didn't get to my homework, or you can. But you're paying for, you know, time that you want to be productive. When you take the time to do the work and you start to really get into the homework assignments, you start to really get into, I give homework assignments, I give writing assignments, I give reading assignments, I give movie assignments because some people are visual. And it's, you know, some movies will bring about the, you know, bring it out so that they can open up and feel it, or the movie will give them an opportunity to see themselves in action where they can't see themselves. And they're so used to being them. When you put something in front of them, like, oh my God, is that me? Right? So those homework sessions are important. Those homework assignments are important. And then getting those homework assignments to me in time so that I could sit with them before our next session so that our next session can be productive. Those things are key. There's a 20-minute discovery session. And in that discovery session, I ask specific questions. First, I want to know why that person, you know, why they reached out. And then we talk through that a little bit. And then I use part of that time to tell them exactly what type of coach they're getting. And we use that time to determine if they can work with me, or if I'm the type of person that they need, or if I can work with them, if I see that they're willing and ready to do the work. Because not all coaches are a good fit. Sometimes people come to me as a coach expecting me to behave as like a psychologist or a psychotherapist. So you just want me to sit there and listen to you whine and complain for 45 minutes, write on my tablet and say, okay, I'll see you here next week. That's not who I am. I've been called a cross between, what's his name, Phil. Yeah, Dr. Phil and Iyanla Van Zandt. It's like, okay, you bring the spiritual, but then you'll kick me in the pants when you need to, right? But that's sometimes what you need, especially the strong, I call them Safis, the strong and fiercely independent women. We're strong and fiercely independent for a reason. Maybe we've raised children by ourselves. Maybe we've had to take care of parents. Maybe we've been through some things like, you know, domestic violence. Maybe we've been through that and that has caused us to toughen our hearts. Maybe we have friends who we see go through drama. And we're like, you know what, I just don't want to deal with that. I don't have time to deal with that. And that tends to put up a wall. And so we think that we are being open and we're ready to attract love into our lives. But really, there's an energy field around you. And if that energy is filled with, I don't have time for this, that's what you're going to give off. And so I work with women and men to help them to identify what it is that they're doing, what it is that they're saying, what type of energy they're putting out there. Men can smell desperation a mile away. Men can also smell, she's not going, you know, I'm not even going to bother with her because she's too negative or she's too jaded. They can pick up on that. And be as strong and fiercely independent women, we've had to put up those guards, but then we don't realize that those guards are the things that are keeping us from being and having the love that we want. The range could be anywhere from $997 to $1,300 for the 6 weeks, and it could be $2,600 to $3,200 depending on if they're coming for the 12 weeks and if it's just one person or a couple. With the couple sessions, I do things a little different. So there are 12 weeks. For the couples, I do 8 weeks of them together. And then there are 4 weeks where they have 2 for one person and 2 for the other person. And the reason for that is there are a lot of things that maybe a husband or a wife want to say about their spouse that they know it's going to hurt their feelings. But it's important for them to get it out so that I can help, you know, figure out how to bring the two of them together. And so there's 2 separate sessions. One is in the beginning and the one is towards the end. I don't share with the other spouse what the person has said, but that helps me to be able to create the homework assignments to help bring them together, or for them to decide that they're just, it's better off that they just separate and they're not good for each other. I have a book. It is called The 5 Phases of Dating, The Grown-Ass Woman's Guide to Attracting and Maintaining Authentic Relationships. This is the book for you if you consider yourself to be a grown-ass woman, yet you have not been successful in your dating and relationship or marriage ventures. It's going to go into, again, I don't do anything where there is an introspection. So the first part of the book is called Internal Groundwork, where you're doing a lot of the homework assignments. These are the same homework assignments that I use for my one-on-one clients. And then I'm going to go into the description of the 5 phases. Most men don't believe that there are 5 phases to dating, but there are. There's friendship, dating non-committed, dating committed, engagement, and marriage. And a lot of times women want to jump from phase 1 to phase 4. And that's what gets us in trouble. Okay, the link would be bit.ly/5 phases pre-order. But what you need to know is that regardless to how many kids you've had, but with how many dads, regardless to whether you spent time in jail, regardless to, whether your body isn't the way that you want it to be, it does not matter. Men do not care about all that, right? What the sexiest thing to a man is a woman that's confident, no matter what size she is. No matter what size she is. You can see, I've seen, and this is before, trust me, I'm constantly working on myself. And I have my own coach. But this is before I got to, the point where I was comfortable with me. And I would walk down the street and I would see a guy that I thought was pretty cool, pretty hot. But I'm thinking, why is he with her? I look better than her. My body is tight back then because, I got, whatever. But it wasn't that. And she didn't have to be the prettiest thing. She could have I don't want to be disrespectful, but she could have a lot of extra, right? Be a little bit fluffy. And we'll say fluffy. He doesn't care. Right. As long as she's comfortable in her body, as long as she's confident, she knows what she wants, she knows who she is, and she feels good in her own body, that's what's attractive to him. So we worry about stretch marks, we worry about, gravity. At this point, we worry about gravity, I'm about to hit 53, so things don't land where they used to. Right, exactly. But he doesn't care. He loves me regardless, right? And that's the type of thing that you want. And this is the one question that I want to leave for women to ask themselves. If you had 24 hours left to live, is that the man that you would want by your side?